So, Monica and I, my wife, we decided that it's time for us to seek some outside help, outside of ourselves, outside of our community. Well, yes, Christy's always been part of our community or has been for a long time. And we felt, and the doors just opened for us to work with her in our marriage. And for me, the beauty of it came not necessarily working in our marriage, but it was working on us as individuals. And I think that to me was a very different approach, and I really appreciated that approach because sometimes I was hesitant, like if I'm doing the right thing, and what are they talking about? Like if Christy was to talk to Monica or she talked to me, and she always brought it back to um, us as an individual, because if we can work on ourselves, if we get to a place in ourselves that we realize the beauty that we each possess as an individual and nurture that, um, naturally the relationship will blossom in a much more um, pure way, because it's not he said, she said. It's tell me where you're at, tell me what you're struggling with, tell me, you know and it felt so much more real, because it was, instead of communicating or talking to somebody about um, our marriage, and oh, she did this or she did that, it was always, the focus was always brought back to me as an individual, which I just really appreciated, because it became clear that, you know I needed to grow as a person. I needed to have accountability for actions, and just have a plan and an approach. And, and it's affected our relationship in such a positive way. Um, at one point, I was in some real low spots. I wasn't sure where Monica and I were headed. We were not heading to a good place. We were on track for disaster, and I'm really grateful that Christy opened up a spot for us to meet and communicate and learn, and she gave us tools for our relationship. Again, tools for ourselves, but how it complemented our relationship and our marriage has been really beautiful. Life is a journey, and we it starts with us. Regardless of where a marriage or relationship is going, it really starts with us as an individual. And Christy made that easy. And then we also had couple calls where we could get together on the phone. Because if I communicate and I tell my truth, and Monica communicates and she tells her truth, Chrissy then took that information, and sometimes it was maybe hard to really see what's going on, or sometimes, I might present it in my way and Monica presents it in her way. And then the times we did our couple calls, it was really beautiful, because then it gave us insight on, okay, these are the situations, these are the issues that arise, and then we can come back to our individual sessions and say, hey, I noticed that this is an area that needs worked on. And yeah, it's been wonderful, it's been great. Yeah, just a deep sense, a better understanding of who I am as an individual, and how that can complement my family has been really fulfilling. And I'm really grateful, and thankful for this opportunity. And you know, I see that in today's society, it's painful and hurtful to see couples get in places that's just there's no really direction. Maybe one gives up and the other's pushing, or vice versa. And I'm excited to be able to share with friends, and I have even in the time of um, working with Christy. I've had friends that called me, and for some reason they just sense to connect with me and share that, man, brother, I'm going through a hard time. And there's times where just a 10-15 minute conversation, um, after the fact, my friends have just shared gratitude for feeling much lighter, feeling like, okay, now they have some direction. And that's been a real honor for me to even take the tools that Christy's given us and be able to share that with people that I'm close to. Um, they're on the same boats. Husbands that maybe they just don't know how to approach you, or just need encouragement and just need that support. And that's what Chrissy's been for us. And it feels really great in return to share that with the people that I'm close to and my community. Say, hey, these are tools that I've been given, and these tools help me. And also just to share the difference between a feminine and the masculine. The feminine has beautiful things to offer, and the masculine has beautiful things to offer. And to get clarification on what that really is, that's something that's really helped me. It's something I'd never really grew up with in my life. Is the whole feminine and masculine energy, but it's Chrissy's really helped me to see that clearly. To see, hey, this is my wife, and this is how she operates, because she operates in her feminine energy, and this is me, and I'm operating in a masculine energy. And also how Monica could sometimes will operate in a masculine energy, and how I can sometimes go into a feminine energy. And just having more understanding, those are the tools that's really helped me to see and clarify, okay, um, and to recognize where we're at and where we're going. So the sense of direction and purpose and clarity is definitely um, the only term I can think of is it's blossoming. And
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
So, if you were to
Excuse
think
me.
back a few years ago, the man that you were 3 years ago compared to where you are today, how would you explain how you feel today, and have you grown?
Wow. Um, have I grown? Wow. Um, yeah. That man's gone. 3 years ago, there was a lot of um, confusion, cloudiness. I myself personally dealt with a lot of trauma and shame, and not feeling worthy, not feeling like I had purpose or sense of a whole lot. Honestly, there was some real low points where I even thought about just quitting life, and it's really refreshing, and just grateful that there's so much more clarity for me, and in my approach to my marriage and my children. I mean, it was just it was rough. It was rough on my family. I um, I had tendencies from how I grew up, and I knew for myself. As a child, I came from a family of this is I know this is not what I want, but I never really knew what I would teach my children. And that to me has become much, much more clear. Say, I see my children for who they are. I see the hurt that I have caused my children and my wife. But now it's really exciting to think, okay, even though all those things had happened and there was definitely consequences for that, but now the beauty of just as I as I grow as an individual and how that complements our relationship in my marriage and how my children can see that. There's literally been a few times at home where in the past my children would wait for reactivity from me, and there's a fear of dad and how he's going to respond or how he will react, to now when situations happen there might be a pause from their side, but now I'm starting to see just a peace and a calm where they're not just expecting a father that's just going to be reactive and combative and try to strong arm my children's direction, um, and rather in a loving, well, again, first loving myself and then loving Monica, and in return they see that and they can let their guards down to know, okay, we can expect a different father to show up for us and nurture us versus just something ugly, I guess. If
Mm.
that answers the question.
Last question, would you recommend coaching to anyone who's on the fence of doing relationship coaching?
No doubt, no doubt. Anybody that's on the fence, you know, Monica and I met Christy many years ago in Green Bay at a business function for Monica, and um, when we first really got to meet Christy and spend time, there was an overwhelming sense of love, and the love was not in it was an unconditional love. It was accepting us for where we're at and for who we are. And I feel like that is very rare. It's because I feel like in order for us to be open to really share all the hurts, the wounds, the depths of us, whether it's dark or light, and all those things, it's intimidating. It's embarrassing at times. It's scary at times, but just feeling the sense that Christy can um, love us unconditionally, it was a no-brainer for us. And for us, we were just really excited for the opportunity when we had spoke about that she had an opening for us as a couple to work with us. We were very excited. And yes, absolutely, no brainer to just jump in.
Thank you, Eugene.